How was your day today? Hello, we are Why Is That? And welcome to our podcast series that usually begins with why questions based on the first principle thinking approach. It offers you a multi-dimensional perspective on various issues in life. Let's live authentically and listen to this episode together. There's a dead forest still green inside me. There's a living person who feels already gone. How do you interpret those two lines? When I said that part of the reason Why Is That keeps going until now is because I want to leave something behind, to mark that I once existed in this world, a friend of mine replied, "So attached to this life, huh? I just want to disappear without a trace. I even thought about not putting my name on a gravestone." I was stunned to realize that while all the other teenage girls in class loved taking pictures, kept diaries to record their daily stories, wrote letters to their future selves, made vlogs, or came up with unique names for themselves, my friend had never taken a photo or tried to capture any moment of her life. Why? Because she felt it was all meaningless, a boring life. Everything feels empty. I don't want to keep memories with anyone. When I die, I won't even have a memorial photo, just a body. That's it. I never imagined that the reason she always avoided my camera or sat alone in the corner and kept her distance from everyone was because she was preparing for a goodbye without a trace. Behind that tough, indifferent, and somewhat negative exterior was a deep, worn-out exhaustion. She was hiding something that dragged on endlessly, like the poem Nursery Rhyme for Grown-Ups by Nguyen Trong Dao. There's a person who's alive but feels already gone. The truth is, we've all felt that way before. Empty, lost. We're alive, yes, but really just trying to get through the day. A long day without a single message. You wake up early in the morning, but just lie in bed, scrolling on your phone until noon. You feel fine, but at the same time, not really. Not a single person checks in all day. It's been a while since you've had a meaningful conversation. Everything around you feels shallow and empty. There are hundreds, even thousands of people in your social media circle, yet you still feel completely alone. There's no one to share the good news with, and when you're hurting, you don't know who to cry with. Your vision blurs, and you're not even sure how much time has passed. Just an average person with no real career, no love life. You know a little bit of everything, but aren't truly good at anything. Another half a year slips by, and when you look up, look down, look around, you still haven't achieved anything you could call an accomplishment. The past few years have felt like a rough draft, like living as a scrap of paper. You've gradually lost interest in living, and life has slowly forgotten you too. You feel unwell and seek help from a therapist, but all the test results come back normal. There's no serious mental health issue. You're not burned out, not sad, but not happy either. Not enough pain to feel hopeless, but not energized enough to feel excited about anything. A restless mindset, but not quite anxiety disorder. A completely healthy body, yet always feeling off. Sometimes you find the motivation to start a new plan to change, but then you can't focus and give up quickly. Then you fall back into that vicious cycle, lost direction, lost motivation. If you have all these signs, you might be in a psychological state that Adam Grant, a psychology professor at the University of Pennsylvania, calls languishing, a feeling of exhaustion. The term was first defined by American sociologist Corey Keyes in 2002. Keyes explained that languishing is a feeling often overlooked within the spectrum of mental health. Specifically, in psychology, mental health is divided into two extremes. On one side is depression, and on the other is mania. Mania is the peak of happiness, when you feel strong, purposeful, in control of your life, and caring for others. On the other hand, depression is the pit of inadequacy. It leaves you discouraged, drained, doubting your self-worth, and feeling useless. Right between those two extremes is languishing, a state of weariness that people often forget, overlook, or ignore. On the same beautiful morning, someone experiencing mania might wake up and head to work full of joy. Someone with depression might be stuck in bed, while someone languishing still gets up, goes to work, but feels nothing of life's brightness. Dr. Grant shares the same view, describing this state of languishing as drifting through each day of life, seeing the world through a foggy window, not falling into the depths of despair, but also lacking excitement. You're floating in the middle of life with nothing ahead to look forward to. So what are the common symptoms of this emptiness? According to BetterUp, a mental coaching platform, people in a state of languishing often show the following signs: feeling disconnected and distant from others, even when there's nothing wrong with those relationships. Constantly restless, but not truly anxious about anything. Trouble focusing or remembering, procrastinating on tasks, lacking motivation to work, and tending to stagnate. Lack of excitement for new tasks or projects. Not feeling well even when physically healthy. Unable to describe your emotions and not expecting anything from life, as if nothing is waiting ahead. Distinguishing languishing from burnout and depression. According to BetterUp, burnout is a state of depleted energy related to work, caused by an imbalance between work and life, or from having to do a job you don't enjoy. Meanwhile, languishing is an overall state that affects every aspect of life, but not severely enough to push you into depression. If you see a therapist and take a depression screening, you might test negative. Although languishing doesn't meet the criteria to be classified as a mental disorder, it still creates an inner emptiness, a lack of emotion, meaning, and purpose in life. People in this state feel stuck and emotionally numb. What makes languishing truly dangerous is that it's not obvious, yet it slowly wears down your spirit and drains your motivation to live. Over time, you might spiral into negativity, and the buildup of negative emotions can eventually lead to serious consequences. What's more concerning is that most people aren't even aware of this state, so it's easy to confuse it with something else and struggle to find a way out. So, what is the root cause of this state? Where does this emptiness come from? The term languishing became a popular psychological keyword in the year 2021 during the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, when the entire world went into lockdown. People lost many things: jobs, loved ones, possessions, and most importantly, their connection with others. Isolation and being stuck at home gave rise to feelings of fatigue and discouragement. However, even without the impact of the pandemic or during the post-pandemic recovery and growth phase, we can still easily fall into this state of fatigue. There are 4 main reasons that often lead to this condition: lack of money, lack of love, lack of connection, and lack of recognition. Lack of money. People are more likely to slip into a state of languishing when they don't have enough money. This doesn't mean that everyone who lacks money feels empty. After all, even celebrities and the wealthy aren't immune to this feeling. However, for many people, financial hardship is a major trigger for crisis. Money can be seen as a foundation that allows young people to dare to chase their dreams. For the sake of basic survival, many are forced to hold on to dull, repetitive jobs just to get by. Moreover, lacking money isn't just about not having cash. It's also about how you earn it and the values money represents. People who earn a lot often possess knowledge, experience, and a wealth of life stories, all the result of long-term accumulation. Their lives are filled with ups and downs, with memorable moments, and that makes their lives more interesting. Additionally, people with money often have power, connections, and the ability to solve many problems. Because of this, they are less likely to fall into a state of boredom. Lack of love. Those who lack love also tend to feel empty. Here, love doesn't simply mean sex, but rather the care and affection from those around you. Those who receive abundant love often view life with a heart full of positive emotions. When you see everything through love, the world becomes more beautiful. A person who does not receive love will find it difficult to know how to give love to the world around them. If a society lacks the exchange of love, sooner or later, people will lose their passion for life. Lack of connection and lack of recognition. Losing connection with the world around you and not being recognized also make many people feel empty. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, humans have two important needs: the desire to connect and the desire to be recognized. A scientific study published in the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin shows that when people feel isolated or excluded from social connections, they tend to become more aggressive and show fewer pro-social behaviors. Once you feel lost within a group, you no longer want to be part of it. As for recognition, many people believe they don't need it from others, that self-recognition is enough. But in reality, recognition isn't just about praise or feedback from others. It helps us understand whether we're on the right path and whether our efforts are truly worthwhile. An office worker may try their best to create value for the company, but if their boss and coworkers never acknowledge it, no matter how much they love the job, they'll eventually start to feel discouraged. A child who studies hard and achieves high scores but never hears words of encouragement from their parents will one day choose to give up. Recognition isn't just a compliment or an approving smile. It's a core element with the power to transform not only the work environment, but also the human spirit. Studies have shown that when a person feels recognized, they not only work more efficiently, but also feel happier and mentally healthier. Work performance can increase by 20%, and the risk of developing mental health issues can drop by 30%. Just imagine, after finishing a task and feeling completely drained, you suddenly receive a genuine compliment from a coworker or your boss. A pat on the back, a heartfelt congratulations, a sincere thank you. These things not only ease exhaustion, but also lift your mood, spark fresh energy, and push you to keep going with stronger confidence and motivation. Recognition is not just a reward, it's a powerful message that your efforts are valued, that you are an important part of the team. When people feel that their existence has meaning, that they are creating value and being recognized, they are more likely to feel motivated and want to stay connected to that community. Additionally, another reason people easily fall into a state of fatigue is the decline in focus caused by the information highway of the digital age. Constantly scrolling through screens and consuming short bursts of content keeps the brain in a mode of searching for more exciting updates and builds an expectation for even more stimulating material. This explains why you plan to read a book but stop after just a few pages, intend to learn a new skill but give up after only a few days, or sit down to work but quickly pick up your phone to scroll through social media. When the brain is constantly seeking stimulation and doesn't find it, feeling bored is only natural. So how can we overcome this fatigue and regain a true sense of purpose in life? First, we need to become aware of our condition and be able to name the emotion. Mental fatigue is often overlooked, but recognizing the issue is the first step toward resolving it. Treat this feeling as a signal that your mental health needs attention. From there, you can find the right path to recovery. Try answering honestly. Are you okay today? Many people, when asked, "Are you doing well?" or "How have you been lately?" often respond reflexively with, "I'm fine," even though, deep down, something feels off, but they can't quite name what it is. According to author Ashley Fetters of The Atlantic, during the pandemic, questions like, "How are you holding up?" and the answer, "I'm fine, thank you," became one of the most meaningless exchanges, even bordering on deceptive. The person asking may not genuinely care and is just trying to start a conversation, while the person responding is often lying to themselves. Dr. Adam Grant, a psychologist, calls this toxic positivity, an invisible pressure that forces people to appear okay even when they're not. This is a form of toxic pressure. Instead of saying, "I'm fine," be more honest. "Yeah, to be honest, I've been feeling pretty drained and unmotivated lately," or "I'm feeling a bit empty." Being truthful about your emotions helps shed the harmful mask you've built for yourself. Don't pretend to be okay if you're genuinely feeling exhausted. Next, start by rebuilding some short-term, manageable goals to help maintain your mental well-being. You may have felt highly motivated to do something, but quickly gave up. To address this, practice the Goldilocks principle. Set goals that are moderately challenging and within your control. At the same time, build discipline using the 2-minute rule. Inside each of us is a procrastination monkey, and to prevent it from overpowering our reason, we need to apply psychological tricks to tame it. Finally, practice flow, building focus according to Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's theory. Finding a flow that stimulates you is the key to growth and boosting mental health. In psychology, flow is a mental state when you are completely immersed in an activity, super focused and full of energy. You will give 100% of your attention to the task and feel exhilarated while doing it. For example, you have 1 month to complete a task, but only when the deadline is near do you truly focus and finish it at lightning speed. This is called an adrenaline rush. However, working in a last-minute panic can leave you exhausted. When you practice being in a state of flow, you handle tasks more efficiently without feeling drained. To maintain a state of flow, you can try the Pomodoro technique, working in short, highly focused intervals followed by brief breaks. At the same time, remove distractions like your phone or gadgets from your line of sight. There are 3 key elements to mastering the flow state. 1, having a clear goal. 2, receiving frequent feedback, assessing your progress and results. 3, the difficulty of the task should be challenging but not overwhelming, following the Goldilocks principle. In the beginning stages of practice, don't pressure yourself if you can only focus for short periods. What matters most is listening to your body and working with your natural rhythm to gradually improve. When you do this, the learning process becomes more enjoyable, your productivity increases, and you'll achieve the goals you've set for yourself.
If you want to explore the flow state in more depth, you can read Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, a Hungarian-American psychologist and the founding father of this theory. Hopefully, these methods can help you overcome the emptiness that's been slowly wearing down your spirit. Let's keep learning and moving forward together, shall we? Some forests may have died, but they remain forever green in the human mind.
There are also people who are still alive, but seem as if they have already passed, not because their bodies have failed, but because their spirits have grown cold. Finiteness or infinity does not reside in physical form, but deep within one's consciousness and perception. A forest remains green even after it has died, because in the human soul, its green still lives, living through memories, through the lasting values it once brought. Similarly, the forest can also be a symbol of pure love. Even if its outer shell appears barren, the lifeblood still flows within. There are people who are alive, yet seem as if they have already died. They live in mediocrity, envy, selfishness, trapped in a dull life without real meaning. A life like that, even if it continues, holds no true significance. I still vividly remember a story from a friend. He once said, "I don't want to keep memories with anyone. When I die, don't bother with a memorial photo. Just cremate me and be done with it." At that moment, I responded, "But aren't you still trying to live well? So that one day, if you donate your body, it will still be healthy, right?" My friend fell silent. Behind his indifference and seemingly negative outlook, I still saw a deep longing to be loved and to love others. He still followed routines for eating and resting to protect his health, because deep down, he still wanted to leave something good behind for the world. He is a kind person. He doesn't want to remember anyone, nor does he want anyone to remember him.